Hello, good morning, and welcome to our discussion. Once again, I am Sir Gorns, your teacher for this topic. So, in this chapter, we explore the material self. It is a part of our identity that is closely tied to our physical belongings. These objects are more than just things, they represent comfort, achievement, memories, relationships, and even dreams. When we gain something valuable, we often feel proud. When we lose something important, we may feel a deep sense of loss. This emotional connection shows that our possessions are extensions of who we are. So, as you read or go along with this chapter, reflect on the items you value most. What do they say about you? Understanding the material self helps us see how everyday objects play an important role in shaping our identity, self esteem, and sense of belonging. So, before we begin chapter 8, let me share with you what you are expected to learn from this lesson. First, you will develop an understanding of the material self. This means that you will learn how the things you own, like your clothes, gadgets, or even your home, can be a part of who you are and how you see yourself. Second, you will describe the basic components of the material self. We will identify the different possessions and physical aspects that people consider as extensions of themselves, such as their body, personal belongings, money, and other valued items, or even relationships. Third, you will discuss the influence of media on people's acquisition of material possessions. Together, we will examine how advertisements, social media, and celebrities affect what people want to buy and why we sometimes feel pressured to own certain things. And lastly, you will develop the qualities of a wise buyer. This lesson will help you learn how to make a smart and responsible choices when buying things, knowing the difference between needs and wants, and avoiding impulsive spending. So, by the end of this chapter, I hope you will not only understand the material self, but also become more aware of how your choices as consumers reflect of who you are. According to Albert Einstein, he said that I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best both for the body and the mind. So this quote reminds us that living a simple and modest life can be beneficial not only for our physical health but also for our mental well-being. When we avoid excessive material possessions and focus only on what we truly need, we reduce stress, pressure, and unnecessary worries. A simple lifestyle allows us to take better care of our body and gives us mind, peace, and clarity. In relation to the material self, this quote encourages us to value balance and contentment rather than measuring our self worth by how much we own. To explain the quotation further, the material self is made up of the tangible or physical things a person considers important, such as owning a car, a house, clothing, or even people closest to them like family and friends. These possessions are often seen as extensions of who we are. It also points out that regardless of whether a person owns a lot or very little, there is often a nature desire or natural desire to acquire more. This is because society commonly views material possessions as symbols of success or failure. People may feel proud when they gain more and discouraged when they have less. Understanding this helps us realize why material things can strongly influence self-esteem and behavior, and why it is important to balance material goals with personal values and well-being. So, what really is the material self? So, the material self, according to William James, is the self That is, sum total of everything a person can call his or her own. This includes not only the body and psychological abilities, but also personal belongings such as clothing and a house, or even relationships like family and friends, and social elements such as reputation, achievements, and even properties and financial resources. The material self refers to both material and non-material objects that an individual personally or intimately considers as mine or my. These possessions go beyond physical objects and include people, experiences, events, and accomplishments that are central to one's identity. So, in essence, the material self is made up of all the things a person values, protects, and feels attached to because they help define who that person is. So, to have a deeper understanding about the material self, we need to discuss its components, namely the body, clothing, house, car, pets, and other possessions that the person owns, and people that an individual has relationship with. So, in the following slides, we are going to discuss each component. Now, let's talk about the body, which is one of the most important components of the material self. For adolescents like you, one of your key tasks is to accept and appreciate your physical characteristics. This means learning to feel comfortable with your height, weight, skin, hair, and overall appearance. However, it's normal for many teenagers to feel worried or self-conscious about their bodies. Studies show that only a few adolescents truly appreciate their body as it is. In general, girls tend to be more concerned about their appearance than boys. One reason for this is the influence of media. TV shows, movies, social media, and websites often show images of what society considers quote-unquote perfect or beautiful. These images can shape your perceptions and sometimes make you feel pressure to look a certain way. In daily student life, this can be seen in small ways, like feeling nervous about wearing a certain outfit to school, or comparing your body or looks with classmates or influencers online, or spending time or money on appearance-related items like cosmetics or clothing to fit in or feel confident. The important takeaway is that your body is a part of your material self, but it should also be something you accept and care for, rather than constantly compare or worry about. Appreciating your body helps you feel confident, healthy, and focused on what truly matters: your skills, talents, and character. Next, let's look into the another important part of the material self, the clothing. The clothes do more than just to cover our body. They represent of who we are. The style, brand, and even color of the clothes we wear can express our personality, mood, and social identity. For adolescents, clothes often become important symbols. Wearing certain styles or brands can make students feel included or cool among their peers. This is because teenagers are naturally influenced by what their friends wear and what they consider fashionable. In daily student life, this can be seen in different ways, like choosing a specific outfit because your friends wear similar clothes, or wearing a school uniform but adding personal touches like accessories or hairstyles, or following fashion trends seen on social media or TV to feel confident and accepted. This shows that clothing are not just about appearance, they communicate a part of your identity. While it's okay to follow trends, it's also important to wear what makes you comfortable and reflects your own personality rather than just trying to fit in. Let us discuss another component of the material self, our possessions. These include things like our house, car, pets, gadgets, and other items that we personally consider as mine. These possessions are more than just objects. They can reflect of who we are and how we feel about ourselves. Say for example, a house. A house is a home represents security, stability, and comfort. For students, it's the place where you feel safe, can study peacefully, and spend time with your family. Next is our car. While most students may not own a car yet, a car symbolizes independence, mobility, and sometimes social status. For older students, having a car can mean freedom to go to school, hang out with friends, or participate in different activities. The pets. So owning pets like a dog or cat can bring pride, joy, and companionship. Pets often become a part of the family and contribute to emotional well-being. And other possessions like gadgets, school supplies, clothes, and personal belongings show your personal taste, lifestyle, and identity. For example, your favorite phone, bag, or notebook might express something about you. So these possessions are important because they contribute to self-esteem and help a person define and express themselves. In everyday life, students often see their possessions as extensions of who they are, taking care of them and valuing them as a part of understanding the material self. And finally, let's look at the people. So this one is another important component of the material self. This includes your immediate family, extended family, and close friends. Anyone you feel a strong emotional or psychological connection with. These people are not just a part of your social circle, they actually help shape of who you are. Your family teaches values, habits, and beliefs, while your close friends influence your interests, choices, and even your behavior. In daily student life, this can be seen when you rely on your family for guidance, support, and encouragement in schoolwork or personal decisions. You feel connected to friends who share your hobbies, study with you, or motivate you to do your best. Your confidence or your self-confidence and sense of identity are shaped by the people you trust and care about. In short, these relationships become part of your material self because they contribute to your sense of belonging, your values, and how you see yourself in the world. Let us now talk about the ideas of Russell Belk, a researcher who studied how material possessions relate to the self. In his work entitled Are We What We Own? Belk suggests that the things we own are more than just objects. They act as a reflection of who we are. Material possessions often show hard work and success. For example, owning a laptop, a car, or a trophy can represent achievements or effort. In everyday life, many people tend to measure success by the amount and quality of their possessions. Belk also points out that this desire for possessions can drive people to achieve more. For instance, students may work hard in school to earn recognition, awards, or gadgets that symbolizes accomplishment. Similarly, adults may strive in their careers to afford a comfortable home or a car. The key idea is that while possessions can reflect success and motivate achievement, it's also important to remember that self-worth is not only about what we own, but also about our values, relationships, and personal growth. Next is materialism. Materialism happens when someone gives more importance to material possessions than to the intangible values like relationships, personal growth, and experiences. While having possessions can be good, overemphasis on owning things can negatively affect a person's sense of self and identity. For example, some people might define their worth only by what they own rather than who they are as a person. A strong desire for possessions can even lead to psychological problems such as the compulsive buying disorder or CBD. People with this disorder have an obsession with shopping and buying things, which can cause problems like debts, stress, and conflicts within the family. For example, as a student, you as a student constantly feels the need to have the latest gadgets or branded clothes to fit in. Or someone measures their popularity or success only by the things they own rather than their skills, friendships, or achievements. The consumer culture is a social system where people's lives and identities are heavily influenced by the consumption of commercial products. In simpler terms, is a way of life where buying and owning things plays a central role in society. This concept shows how our daily culture, what we value, how we live, and how we express ourselves are closely linked to the products we use and buy. For example, the clothing brands, the smartphones, or even the cafes we visit are not just products, they carry meaning and status in our social world. Consumer culture also explains how markets and businesses mediate our lifestyles. The products available to us and how they are marketed shape what we desire and how we define success or popularity. In student life, this can be seen when a student follows trends from social media or influencers. Peer pressure influences what gadgets, clothes, or shoes to buy. Certain products or brands are seen as symbols of social status or identity. So understanding consumer culture, this one helps us to see how much our choices are influenced by society and the market, and encourages us to be mindful about our spending and values. And the last topic for this chapter is consumerism. Consumerism happens when people consume material goods and services beyond what they really need. It is closely connected to materialism because it focuses on acquiring more possessions to feel satisfied or successful. For example, while it's natural for people to feel happy and motivated when their basic needs are met, consumerism can push them to buy things they don't really need or cannot afford. This can lead to unnecessary spending and financial problems or even stress. For example, students feel pressured to buy the latest gadgets, fashion items, or accessories just to keep up with the trends. Or people spend money on things they don't need simply because they are advertised as desirable. Or peer pressure or social media influences what students think they must own to be accepted or cool. So understanding consumerism helps students distinguish between needs and wants and make smarter, more responsible decisions about what to buy. So let us summarize what we have learned from this lesson. First is the material self. So the material self is the part of our identity made up of our body, clothes, possessions, and people we are closely connected to. These things and relationships help define who we are and how we see ourselves. In materialism, when someone gives too much importance to material possessions over values, it can negatively affect self-identity and even lead to problems like compulsive buying. And the consumer culture, our lifestyles and values are often shaped by the market and society. The products we use and the brands we follow carry meaning, influence our choices, and shape our social identity. And last one is consumerism. This is the excessive consumption of goods beyond what we really need. It encourages people to focus on the wants rather than the needs, sometimes leading to financial stress or unhealthy habits. So, in conclusion, while material possessions are a part of the self and can reflect achievements and personality, it is important to balance the material and the intangible aspects of life. True self-worth comes not only from what we own, but also from ourselves, relationships, experiences, and personal growth. Being mindful about possessions and consumption helps us lead a healthier, more balanced, and fulfilling life. So, I would like to say thank you for listening to our discussion. I hope you now have a better understanding of the material self, materialism, consumer culture, and consumerism. Remember, what we own can say a lot about us, but who we are goes beyond possessions. Keep reflecting on your values and choices. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.